Hello, and welcome to That Booty, the channel where we approach the spiritual world with curiosity and discernment. One of the obstacles many people who pursue a spiritual path have to face is consistency at one point or another. And one of the things that can get in the way of consistency is feeling judged or pressured by the outside world. The ego, right? The aspect of ourself that helps us navigate our day-to-day life, and is not evil, by the way. The ego does help us meet our needs and, operate in society to a large extent, right? But the ego likes sameness. The ego likes predictability, and the ego likes comfort and safety. So naturally, the ego will try to keep us in a state where we feel that we can be accepted by others. When you're pursuing a spiritual path, however, you may, or you often will, be trying new things and exploring new things, and these things might not be comfortable for other people to acknowledge. And that's where certain labels arise. This can be especially difficult if you live in a household, for example, where you feel like you can't fully delve into your practice. You feel like you have to heavily guard your practice because you fear ridicule. And this can also extend to if you're trying to fit in with a certain spiritual community, where perhaps something that you'd like to explore or that resonates with you is considered taboo, so you ignore it. Or if you feel you have to come across a certain way, you have to change the way you dress, for example, in order to consider yourself valid in a certain spiritual community, that can be just as limiting and just as damaging. So how do we deal with other people's labels and our reactions to those labels as we continue to explore ourselves and what works for us in a spiritual sense? Good question, right? One of the important things is finding a practice that works for you to bring you back to center so that you're able to respond instead of react in as many situations as possible. So whether it's something superficial like your clothing, or something that really resonates with you, like a core belief that somebody tries to dismiss or project their preconceived notions about those things onto you, how can you mitigate that? By coming back to center and realizing that we are all different manifestations of the same source, the same light, and forgiving. Forgiving that part of others that exists within ourselves as well. The part that likes sameness and safety and predictability. The ego has a stronger grip on some people. And to cast judgment on people because of where they are in their journey and in their lives can be just as detrimental as, being judged ourselves, right? So you attract the energy that you put out. And if you can be non-judgmental, regardless of where others are at in their journey, it's very freeing because you don't strive at that point to be accepted or understood. And whatever labels come at you become less constricting. So even if a family member says, you're too woo-woo for me, or if you have somebody in the spiritual community saying, you have to follow a very strict diet of XYZ in order to grow at all spiritually, right? You listen to your inner guidance, and knowing that perhaps things will change, that you may shift and change, you could still be accepting of where you are and allow those labels, those what they are, limiting concepts of self, right? Projected onto you by others. You can just let them fall away and respond with forgiveness. I forgive you for not understanding, or understanding and not approving of my choices. And with that forgiveness in my heart, I choose to move forward with my life, fully accepting accountability for whatever happens from here forth. And if you're good with your choices, and if you can forgive other people who try to limit you with their labels, you will find that your growth will expand in a way that's otherwise impossible if you're always hiding, or stopping yourself from exploring because you feel you need to fit in and keep it suppressed. So I hope this video was helpful to you, and until next time, Namaste.